Well, the fight was fierce over the funding of D.C.'s fiscal 2012 budget. There were threats to jack up the tax on the wealthy, but the dust is now settled. A preliminary vote has been taken, and the city council has approved it. A $5.2 billion budget without that so-called millionaires tax. Fox 5's Karen Gray-Houston has the story tonight.
When the council members took their seats on the dais, the deal was for the most part already done.
Kwame Brown had the votes, and we knew that coming in.
The biggest champions of the tax on the rich caved in. The lawmakers tried another tact, raising income taxes by eliminating a tax break for residents who buy out-of-state municipal bonds, a move that will affect some retirees. Everybody wasn't happy.
It's a fundamental unfairness to people for this to come out of the blue as a tax on their income.
It's a tax break that doesn't make any sense, and in fact it's a good thing that the council got rid of that tax break.
Still, most folks seemed content with how the council members agreed to erase a $322 million deficit with less severe cuts to social services. There were a few T-shirts in the chamber representing causes, but nothing like yesterday, when safety net advocates roamed the halls railing against cuts. Council members and groups like Catholic Charities applauded the budget vote and patted Chairman Kwame Brown on the back for what they called realistic compromises.
What they were most concerned about is restoring homeless families, making sure that the homeless continuum and the TANF benefits and child care services, that's what people really wanted. And at the end of the day, what we're trying to do is to create a win-win situation. And, you know, I never have supported taxing families that make $200,000 a year as the first option of where we should go.
Karen, you addressed this a little bit in your story about this budget full of compromises just isn't going to please everybody. Talk a little bit more about that.
Right, Laura. Well, for starters, those D.C. residents on fixed incomes, some retired people who invested in those tax-free out-of-state municipal bonds, they're not going to be thrilled. There were some social service cuts that were not restored, but the council was able to put back some money in for emergency homeless shelters, the ones that stay open year-round. So some folks will be pleased about that, Laura.
Yeah. Well, what about Vincent Gray? What's the mayor's take on all this?
The mayor commended the council. You know, they didn't agree on everything. He has sent a letter to Chairman Brown. He says he will probably sign the bill, but in a press release that Mr. Gray sent out this afternoon, he said he continues to support the millionaires tax. He didn't call it the millionaires tax, that tax on the people who make over $200,000. And the council can still make some changes. There's a second reading on this bill, and the vote comes up next month before it goes to Congress.
Okay. Karen Gray-Houston, thanks for the update.